Hello kids. Now the topic for discussion it is natural sources, which is a part of class 9th curriculum of CBSE. Now first thing, what are natural sources? Now whatever we can utilize from our surroundings, including air, water, soil, they all are natural resources. Even plants, animals, whatever nature gives us and we can use it for our own benefit is a resource for us. Now the very first primary source, it is air, the breath of life. Air which we breathe in, air which we breathe out, which help us to survive. Now what is air? Air is a homogeneous mixture made up of gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapors, etc. Now we all know that plants give us oxygen and take carbon dioxide in. Now what is special about Earth which gives its life supporting system? It is the atmosphere itself. The planets which don't have atmosphere, they are not expected to have any life form, at least on the surface of that planet. Now what are the functions of atmosphere? It is not only meant for respiration, and it performs a lot more function. Like first one, maintaining the temperature of Earth. Now in winters, in summers, we see the variation in temperature. In summers, the temperature in our city Ghaziabad, it goes up to 45 degrees C or sometimes even higher. The temperature in winters, it shifts downwards, it decreases up to 1 to 2 degrees C. So this creates a temperature variation, a range of almost 45 degrees C in which we live, and we feel a lot of cold and warm. Now we think of moon. We should know that moon has a very less dense, almost negligible atmosphere, and in case of moon, because of atmospheric absence, there is a difference of temperature which is from minus 190 degrees C to 110 degrees C within a day. When the side of moon is towards sun, its temperature increases up to 110 degrees C. At the same time, on the side which is away from sun, its temperature is almost minus 119 degrees C. Now can you imagine? Now how is this observed? It is because of atmosphere. We all know atmosphere is made up of air, which is insulator of heat. Now the light rays coming from sun, they heat up the earth's surface. But this heat isn't allowed to move back into atmosphere because of the layer of atmosphere which acts as insulation. As a result, the temperature is maintained within the limits for our survival. If the temperature increases beyond the limits, then we all, the animals, plants, humans, will die. And this way it avoids sudden change in temperature during day and night also. Now the heat absorbed during day can slowly lose during night, but this atmosphere, it slows the process. The heat absorbed during day is even used towards night, during night, to maintain that temperature in our environment. As a result, we feel warm even in night, which is very common, very familiar in summers. This is the first function of atmosphere. Then second, movement of air or wind. The very wind which carries clouds, the very wind which causes the motion of plants, animals, the very wind which carries air from one place to another. Now, a very important aspect of wind is the sea breeze and the land breeze, which we also call day breeze and night breeze. Now, what is sea breeze? Now, during the day, the land gets heated faster than sea. This way, the temperature of land is more and the air above the land surface moves upwards. The air from the sea, it moves towards land. and as it comes from sea, we call it sea breeze or day breeze. In night, the process is reversed. The sea, the river, the water body has temperature higher than land. Now, in absence of sunlight, land is cooler, whereas water is hotter. So the air above the water move upwards, the air from the land replaces it, thereby creates upward current over the water body. And when we cover these cycles, it creates a wind, a movement, which maintain the temperature on land during the day and night. Because of this current, we feel the cool wind coming from the rivers, from the seas during day, and we also feel the warm breeze coming from the same water body during night. Now this is a diagram to show how the low pressure and high pressure areas are formed during land breeze. You can see the movement of current which is towards land to ocean, the rising warm air and the descending cool air from the top. In case of the land breeze, the diagram gets reversed. Now there is one more function, that is rainfall. We all are familiar with monsoons, which are the basic force which drives the Indian economy, the agriculture itself. We are highly dependent on monsoons for our agriculture practices. But what is the reason for this? It is the wind. Now during the months of monsoon, the wind which carries clouds, they show the phenomena of sea breeze and enter towards the land area from all the oceans which surround the Indian subcontinent, from Bay of Bengal, from Arabian Sea. They enter towards the Indian land, and whenever they face an obstruction in form of mountains, they cause rainfall as they are carrying clouds with them. So this rainfall is observed due to the monsoon winds, the air, the wind which is observed. The pattern of wind flow, it is highly dependent on the geography, and this also defines the amount of rainfall. Now, air pollution, the problem which we all have created. Now, what is air pollution? In air pollution, the air gets contaminated with various harmful substances like oxides of nitrogen, sulfur, solid waste produced from factories, and all those other things which cause cancers, heart disease, allergies, all those bad things which can happen to us. Now next source, it is water. Before that, a chart to show the pollution of air and its effect. The main chart, it shows the process for acid rain. Now acid rain is acidic because it contains oxides of nitrogen and sulfur dissolved in water droplets present in air to form mild acids. This is the mechanism by which acid rain is formed. Similarly, smog. The two diagrams on the right side show the smog observed in London and Beijing in Los Angeles. Now the smog has become a modern day travesty for all of us, which we are seeing in our own city itself. Now water, the wonder liquid. Water is one of the driving sources for life. It is the place, it is the climate, it is the environment, ecosystem where the very first life form evolved. Now water is present on Earth's surface inside and also in the atmosphere. Now the present water we have as seas. It is saline, containing salts, whereas in rivers, lake, pond and ice, pools, snow, they all have fresh water which is sweet in taste. Now water is required for all organisms to sustain their life process, and we should know that the cell which we are made up of is made up of 90% water. The amount of water and other factors like temperature, nature, soil, they all decide the diversity of species present in an area. Now, water pollution. The increase in content of harmful substance in water is called water pollution. Now, what are various causes? Now, some causes are made by us, some are agricultural, some are industrial, lot of sources, but the ultimate result they give is water pollution, which is harmful for us. Like first one, by addition of harmful substances like fertilizer, pesticide from farms, sewage from towns, cities, factories, harmful chemicals from factories, hot water from industrial boilers. When this hot water enters a fresh water body like river or lake, it changes the temperature, increase it to a very large level, and as a result, it kills lot of fishes which are not able to survive that temperature and also other life forms present in that water body. Disease causing microbes are released in sewage which drain out from our homes. Now, change in the amount of oxygen dissolved in water, it is due to the chemicals and the flora present in the water, fauna present in water, which changes result in the change in oxygen content. Now, next resource, it is soil. The very land, the very soil on which we live. Now, soil is the upper layer of earth in which plant grows. It is a black or dark brown material which contains a mixture of organic remains, clay and rock particles. Remember, the amount of minerals, humus, air, water are the factors. If any of these varies, the species surviving in that area will vary. For this reason, every zone on the earth, every region has its own biodiversity. Now, the composition of soil and type of soil depends on the climate of region. The nutrients of plants are provided by the soil, which depend on the type of soil. Some type of soil, they are rich in one nutrient, the other type in other nutrients. Now, how is soil formed? The process by which soil is formed is called pedogenesis, and it is a very slow process. How slow? Think of it like this. It takes 5,000 years to create 1 inch of soil around the entire land surface, not the earth, the land surface we have. So, in 5,000 years, 1 inch of soil is obtained, and the process is called pedogenesis, which involves 3 steps. Now, first one, which involves sun. During daytime, the sun heats the rocks. As a result, they expand. During expansion, they break, and this breaking of rocks create cracks in them. This is the function of sun. It heats the rocks, cracks them. Now, during rainfall, during night, and by various other factors, the water enters these cracks. And when water enters these cracks, during night, it cools. We all know, when water cools, it expands. In expansion, the crack becomes larger, larger, and gradually, this very slow process breaks very large rocks into smaller forms. This way, contribute in the process of pedogenesis. Flowing water, it carries rock from places to places. We all have seen the small pebbles, even larger rocks, which come with brute force in a river. And this force of water, when it brushes the surface of rocks, it produces soil by friction. Because of these stream, as the rocks are carried from one place to another, so is the soil. Nutrients are also supplied to the agricultural land. So this way, water is not only the cause of soil formation, it also ensures the quality of nutrients in soil. Now, the strong winds, they also break rocks into small particles and carry it from one point to another, although their contribution is much less. Now, roots of large trees, they are also very important, because those roots, they enter those cracks present within the stones, the large rocks, and when they enter in those cracks, they install their roots there. And when they install their roots, they grow, they thicken, and this thickening creates pressure on the walls of cracks, causing expansion. So this way, we have three major factors which affect the rate of soil formation: sun, wind, and water. And there is one additional factor, that is plant life. Now, soil pollution. What are causes of soil pollution? In soil pollution, various contaminants are added to soil. Now, various sources are industrial activity, which are the biggest contributor in India. And the biggest contributor itself in industries is mining, metallurgy. There are various other factories like plastic factories, rubber factories. They dump various waste on the soil which kill lot of microorganisms which live in it. The chemicals used in agriculture, they remains inside the soil even after a crop is removed, and these pesticides, they kill the various organisms, various bacteria, small animals which are normally present in soil, and as a result decrease its quality. There are many other chemicals also which cause the damage to soil and thereby deteriorates its composition. Now, plants absorb many of these insecticide, pesticide when they decompose, and then they become a part of land. It kills earthworm, bacteria which make the soil rich in humus, which decrease the quality of soil, and finally the loss in agriculture. The removal of useful components and addition of other harmful substances reduce the fertility of soil and cause soil pollution. Every human produces waste product as urine, feces, and all these biological waste, they also pollute soil when dumped in open. Acid rain is another contributor. Air pollution causing to soil pollution. When acid rain occurs, the acid enters the soil, and this way it makes the soil acidic, which is now not favorable for growth of plants. Now there is one more point, soil erosion. Right now we are seeing floods in Kerala, we have seen the same in Uttarakhand, J&K and various regions of India. Now all these are partly due to soil erosion itself. Now what is soil erosion? It is the displacement of upper layer of soil from one place to another, or it is simply the carrying away of soil from one place to other by flowing water and wind. Now there are certain reasons behind it. One is large scale deforestation. The plants which hold the soil together are removed, and the water, wind, it easily able to carry the soil with itself. It can be reduced by growing various vegetation, small plants, trees on the surface of soil, by making dams, terrace, all these things. The loss of nutrients and positive fertilizer directly affect the crop emergence, growth and yield, because in soil erosion the topsoil which contains most of the nutrients is removed. Now eroded soil, it can inhibit the growth of seeds. Now when soil erosion occurs, the topsoil is removed, but it moves, shifts somewhere else. Now if that land is agricultural land, it covers all the seeds, small plants, and thereby it kills the life form present there itself, causing lot of damage to agricultural practices and life forms. These are some slides that show the result of soil erosion: the broken land, the loss of topsoil, and what remains is the dead soil which now no longer support and finally change into desert. Now this is one activity to show the effect of flowing water on topsoil. We take two trays of same size and fill them with soil. We plant some small mustard or green gram in one of the trays and leave other as it is. I water them for few days till the one tray is covered by plant growth that contains seeds. Now, after this, we pour equal amount of water on both the trays. You will observe that in case of soil tray that contain plants, the soil doesn't move out, doesn't flow with water. Whereas in the tray which contains only soil, the soil moves away with the water. This way we can show that yes, plant cover can reduce soil erosion. It helps us to contain and preserve our nature. Now, these are the points which we have studied. What are resources? Natural sources are materials or substances occurring in nature which can be exploited for economic growth. We all have now known that there are air, water, soil, minerals and living animals, organisms, plants which are our resources. The outer crust of earth, we call it lithosphere, that represents soil. The water on the earth, it forms hydrosphere, the sphere of water. The air around us, the protective envelope, it forms atmosphere. And the life is only possible where all these three are present. Where we have air, water and life and soil as atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, and they interact together to create the sphere of life. We call it biosphere, in which the life is there in form of animals and plants. Now we move to our next slide.